Hi guys, welcome back on the channel. This is Shubham here again back with a review. So we have read 1984 written by George Orwell. So this video is about the review. So let's get started. The book is basically written about a government, a form of government. Basically, it is called totalitarianism. What is simply first I want to explain is the meaning of totalitarian government. Is that a government which has full control over the thoughts of people or what kind of actions they are doing. Like in India, you can see we have a democratic government. There are several parties fighting for each other and fighting for the government to be in the government, and the people are choosing the leaders, their representatives. But totalitarian government, the government is the prime body, and whatever they want to do, they can do it. If they want to do it in a very adverse manner, then they can do it in that way also. So it was written in 1947. But it was published in 1949. The writer of the book, named George Orwell, is actually not George Orwell. His real name is Eric Arthur Blair. He was born in 1903 in the British India near the border of Nepal. His father used to work for British Quality Control Department, and basically the quality control was done for opium. Opium was at that time used for making of drugs, and Britishers used a sort of monopoly on the trade of these drugs for supplying it only to China. Why? Because they have two reasons. First one is that they wanted to have a control over the economic basis or over the money what they were earning. Plus also they were trying to they were trying to gain over the people of China so that they can rule over them also, and their colonies can build up more. This is something called a dystopia. Like in this book also, the people, Winston, who is the main character of the book, and the other characters, they are living in a world in which the world is divided into three basic countries. And the name of these countries are Oceania, in which Winston and other characters are living, and the whole story goes there. Eurasia and East Asia. These three countries are in constant sort of war with each other. The basic aim of war is not to get the resources. Why? Because these countries are so big in the globe that they can gather the resources which are required for their development or for their sustainability by themselves, because they are covering so much of land. But they are basically fighting over for labor power totally, because they have a sort of they always wanted to implement totalitarianism. As you know, they always wanted themselves to be in power. In the whole book it has been shown, and they always wanted to suppress the people. They wanted to make them believe that they are the supreme power, which they decide everything, which is the meaning of totalitarianism. And the writer used to believe that in future the leading form of governments will be such of a kind. But right now, until now, it is not happening. So very good for all of us. Talking more about the book, in this book, the main character, Winston Smith, is a party member, or he is basically working for the party. The society, very beginning of our humanism, has been divided into three categories: the high people, the middle class people, and the lower class people. In the book also, the society is divided into three main categories. First one are the people who are high profile, and they are high party members. Second one are party members which are workers. They used to work in various ministries, because there are so many ministries, as ministries of love, ministry of peace, various other ministries are also there, which are used to control the people or do all sort of work which is required. And Winston is working in Ministry of Newspeak. What is the real job of Winston is to change the text. The party is basically aiming for changing all sort of text, all sort of history books, all sorts of written material, whatever is there, so that they can so that nobody will be able to prove anything what is against the party. Every time for 24 hours, 7 days, the people of Oceania or of that country, they are in constant surveillance. There is something called a telescreen, and at everybody's home there is something called telescreen, which has a microphone also. That telescreen is used to broadcast several tell government specific ideas, government specific newses, and the microphone is being used for recording the voices, so that you cannot say anything, or you cannot even thought against the government. Otherwise you will be punished by thought police. What thought police is thought police is a kind of organization which punish the people for having adverse thoughts, or having thoughts like caring for someone, thoughts of love to someone, thoughts of patriotism, affection. All these things to do in the book is a crime. In this world, disappearance of the people is a very common thing. I mean, people usually get disappeared for no reason. Thought police grab them, they torture, and their disappearance been never noticed very much. Everything remains same, nothing changes, and so after few times they even nobody even cares about them. There is no any text proving that they ever existed. Children in this particular book have a special role, that they used to report their parents or their family members that if they are planning against the party, then they report them going to the newspeak, and the whole process of making them disappeared or curing them begins in the book. Winston, on the other hand, believed that there is some sort of secret organization called Brotherhood existed, and that Brotherhood will one day help him to overturn the party, and the whole thing will be called a revolution in meanwhile. What happens in the meanwhile is that he met a girl named Julia, who is also a party member, but she's not in the same department. She's in another department. He meet with her for one or two times. Eventually they fall in love with her, and having known the consequences, they used to carry on with their affair, and they secretly built you can say their secret place of hiding or meeting where they usually meet at Mr. Charrington's antique shop. Initially in that shop also there was a telescreen, but they didn't know about it. In this world, all that kind of stuff which make us feel enjoyed, like coffee, tea, television, or whiskey, wine, anything which is enjoyable to us, those are sometimes banned, or they are only available for the high party members. But Julia, being very cunning, she somehow get these things from black market, and she and Winston enjoy that in their secret meeting place. Their affair continues for some time, but eventually thought police caught them, and his curing phase begin. What happens in this curing phase is that thought police used to torture these people who are committing the crime, and first they make them pure. How they make them pure is that they don't want any kind of feeling of affection, of love in the people. They only want hatred and angryish sort of nation, so that they can rule themselves easily, or they always be remain in the power. If people will bond with each other, it would be very harmful for the party, as it is said in totalitarianism also. Let's talk more about Brotherhood. Basically, Brotherhood was thought to be an organization kind of a thing, but actually nothing like this existed in the book. O'Brien, who is a senior party member, he basically guided Winston to receive a book which has no title. It is called The Book in the book which I am reading. So that book contains information about Brotherhood and how this form of government has been developed, and this sort of and every member of the Brotherhood should read that book. Initially Winston and Julia believed to O'Brien that he will be helping him. They go to him and confess that they don't like the party and all kind of hatred which they have against him. O'Brien, being more cunning, he knew that these people will be harmful for the party. That's why he set a sort of trap for him and Julia to caught them and to vaporize them. Initial point of when they when they rented an apartment at Mr. Charrington's antique shop, they knew that they knew about their love affair, and things were happening around them, which are against the party, but they didn't stop them. In the curing phase, what they do, that send Winston to a ministry of love, where there he has no where there he has no sense of time, no sense of no good food is given to him, always always he's being tortured by O'Brien. What O'Brien usually uses a machine which is mounted on Winston's backbone, and every time, instead of showing 5 fingers, he show 4 fingers, and made him to say that he is showing five fingers. And by that way he wanted him to make him believe that party controls everything, and whatever the party want, they can do. This kind of curing phase goes for about 8 years with Winston, in which he didn't have any idea that he has been there for 8 years. In between this phase, he became very loose, very weak. He's showing the sign of development, and believing on what party want him to believe. Continuously he is given food, then he regains his strength. In the last, when he was about to be released, he said that he hates Big Brother. Big Brother is a sort of imaginary figure which is always being demonstrated as the head of the party. Big Brother is the head of the party. He is being demonstrated. There is no any real person called Big Brother. What happens is that at the last, when he says he hates Big Brother, O'Brien sent him to room 101, which is the primemost, you can say, place of Ministry of Love, where there everybody's biggest fear lies. My biggest fear may be something, your biggest fear can be anything else. So everybody's biggest fear is different. For Winston, his biggest fear is rats. He hates rats. So O'Brien make him to wear a cage of rats, where they are by the thoughts of rats tearing his nose, his eyes apart, and biting all over his faces. He finally betrays Julia and say, "Don't do it to me, do it to Julia. Don't do it to me, do it to Julia." That was the point. When he was completely broke. He had nothing remaining in his life, and he is completely end from inside. That is what the party wanted him to be like. That is what the main objective of the party, to broke him from inside. In the end, what happens is that Winston is released, and he is again given a job where there he is asked to decide that the comma should be used in the text. The comma should be used between the brackets or not, which is a completely useless job. Nobody gives him much sort of attention, or he is just being a flash of just being an unknown person. Nobody cares about him. Nobody asks him anything. Nobody talks him anything. Finally, he is shot from back, and he died at the end. At the end, in the book, he loves Big Brother, and he thanked him for ending his miseries. Overall, my opinion about the book is that it is good for reading about totalitarianism, and what kind of things there can be in the world if it better not be handled by good sort of governments, because in many countries in the world also there is communism and one head dictatorship kind of thing are going on, and has been in the past, as we know. But totalitarianism is a very different form of government, and I don't think it should be prevailed for much longer time. So that is it for today. This book was very good. Next we are reading Benjamin Franklin, and I hope I'll post that video review of that in a couple of weeks. That's it for today. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for my friend Durgesh to record this video, and I'll see you around. Bye.